Just an old sweet song that keeps Georgia on my mind. I say now, Georgia, Georgia, a song for you comes in sweet and clear as moonlight in through the pine. Other arms reach out to me, other eyes smile tenderly. It's still in peaceful dreams I see the road that leads back to you. I say now, Georgia, Georgia, no peace I find. Just an old sweet song that keeps Georgia on my mind. Other arms reach out to me, other eyes smile tenderly. Still in peaceful dreams I see the road that leads back to you. Oh, I say now, Georgia, Georgia, no peace I find. Just an old sweet song that keeps Georgia on my mind.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Swift Guitar Lessons. Today I'm sharing with you one of my favorite songs. It's called Georgia on My Mind. It's a tune that was made famous by the late great Ray Charles and was written by Hoagy Carmichael and Stuart Gorell. This is a great song for the intermediate level guitar player trying to expand upon their knowledge of chords and progressions. Let's get started. Alright, so we have a close look at the neck, and we're going to begin by talking about what chords are needed for the verses. In between, I'm going to show you some of the ways I like to travel in between these chords. Okay, so we're going to begin with the G major chord. Georgia. I may also want to throw in a G7 there instead. It depends on how bluesy I want to make it. But for right now we have G major, Georgia, and the next chord we'll need is a B7 chord, Georgia. To connect these two chords, I may do a little walk up here, and I did it a lot throughout my demonstration. 3 on the E string, open A string, 1st fret A, right in to that B7 chord. Alright, so our beginning of the tune will sound like this. Georgia, Georgia. Alright, next we're going to follow it up with an E minor 7 chord. It's just an E minor chord here, but with the pinky added to the 3rd fret of the B string. That's followed up by a D9 chord. Okay, but that could also be substituted for just a plain old D7 chord. So far we have Georgia, Georgia, E minor 7, the whole day. Next we'll have C major 7 through. Up next I'm going to sharp that root of the C chord here on the A string 3rd fret, and it's going to make it the chord a C sharp minor 7 flat 5. Real catchy title, right? Alright, so we have C sharp minor 7 flat 5. Bringing in the G major chord, we're back home, just an old sweet. Then we're going to play an E dominant 7. Same chord that we played before, only our first finger is down here on the G string first fret, making it a major chord. All right, let's go back to the beginning and see what we have thus far. Georgia, G major. Walk up to the B7, Georgia, E minor 7, D9, the whole day through, C major 7, C sharp minor 7 flat 5, the first finger comes up 1 fret, Justin, G major, old sweet, E7, song. Now we're going to go to A minor 7, it keeps Georgia. Back to our D9 chord or D7 on my, and we follow it up with a B7 chord again, mine. All right, this section we have a quick little turnaround. E7 for 2 beats, A7, and D7 or D9. All right, we go back into the verse and we repeat the whole thing again. The second verse is going to have the same chord progression, only a slightly different tag at the end. Okay, so we go back to G major. Say now Georgia, B7, Georgia, or E minor. A song for you. There's our real jazzy C major 7, C sharp minor 7 flat 5. Comes in sweet and clear. There's our G to E7 change. A minor 7 as moonlight through the D9. And here's where it changes. We're going to do like a kind of a bluesy style turnaround. You also hear this in a lot of 50s and early 60s kind of music. G, 2, C, 2, G, 2, and our B7 comes back for tension, bringing us in to the change, our minor section. All right, that little turnaround there, G, C, G, B7, can be bluesified to a G dominant 7, if you're familiar with your bar chords, a C9 or maybe a C7, back to your G7, and then even a walk up to our B7 to usher us into our minor section there. I'll play that verse for you one more time. I say now Georgia, walk it up, Georgia, a song for you, comes in sweet and clear as moonlight through the pines. I do it bluesy. This brings us to the next section. We have an E minor 7 chord. This part's pretty easy. Just going back and forth between E minor and A minor 7. Sounds like this. Other arms reach out to me. Other eyes smile. Then we're going to change it up a little bit. Instead of A minor 7, A dominant 7. Okay. Tenderly. Go back to the E minor 7, continue on. Still in peaceful. Next we go to the G7 or G major. They both do the same thing. Dreams I see. And we just flat that back 1 fret. That G7 comes back 1 fret to create an F sharp 7. Next we just take these 2 fingers right here down 1 string to create what's called a B minor 7. The road that leads back to you. All right, so that section, B minor 7, B flat minor 7, A minor 7. From there, you can follow it up with a D7 chord, or if you're a little bit more advanced, D9. Okay, so many different ways you can take this song. Let me play that chorus for you one more time. So with the E minor 7. Other arms reach out to me. Other eyes smile tenderly. E minor 7. Still ain't peaceful. Here comes that G chord. Dreams I see. The road that leads. B minor 7. Back. B flat minor 7. To you. A minor 7. And a D9 chord. Notice how I just did a little walk up there. so many things you can add to this progression to make it more interesting and more unique and more your own. All right, then we go back to the chords in the verse section again. It's going to end with our kind of our bluesy turnaround, G, C, G. And that's the kind of the closeout or the tail on the verses that we're going to use for the remainder of the tune. We'll have another verse, we'll have another chorus, one more verse, and then we just end it with that bluesy turnaround. Now, what I like to do when I end this song, here I'll demonstrate one time. We'll go from the G major, just an old sweet song that keeps Georgia on my mind. I start my turnaround, but I'll play a G major 7 instead, just because it's very jazzy and it gives me an opportunity to play some of the jazzier kind of more gospel blues jazz kind of licks that I know. So I have the G major 7, my first finger's here on the 3rd fret of the E string. I got the 4th fret of the D, 4th fret of the G, and the B string 3rd fret. From there, I'll do a lick something like this. And follow it up with my G13. So I got this little staircase lick that I like to throw in right at the end of Georgia on My Mind. Alright, let me break that down for you. So I play my G major 7 chord. It's going to take a little bit of practice to get used to that grip. And then I'm going to play 2nd fret high E string, 5th fret, a slide to the 2nd, then I just staircase down. That was 2, 3 on the B, 4 on the G, my staircase lick. Alright, there I am, 5th fret D string, 4th fret, 2nd fret, and back to the 4th fret. From there I set up this really nice jazz G13 chord, which is really nice for ending progressions, especially if you're kind of ending the song for good. So I have 3rd fret of the E string, 4th fret of the D string, 4th fret of the G string, 5th fret. You can also kind of play it like that too if you want to, just a G7 chord with the pinky here on the high E string. Or I'm sorry, actually on the B string 5th fret. But this is how the jazzers like to play it. So ending my tune. If you can, vibrato those strings. It's a great way to end the tune. Alright, so let's take a look at the possible add-ons that we have for this tune. These are just ornamental things that you can play to kind of spice up the progression a little bit. So first we have the walk-up that we talked about before, the G major to B7 walk-up. Alright, so that was your G major chord and you're walking, 3rd fret E string, open A string, 1st fret on the A, and then right into your B chord. Another thing that you can do to get to your E minor 7 chord, which would follow up that B7, Georgia, Georgia, is walk down to that E minor. 3rd fret, it's a G note here on the E string. So I just had 3, 2, E minor 7. The whole. You can always walk up on those extra chords there on that D9 chord. 3, 4, 5, day through. Just an old sweet song that keeps Georgia. Just did it again. On my mind. Just be creative and try to make this your own. There's so many different things that you can do. Okay, one last thing. We're going to take a look at a very interesting chord that we can throw in at the tail ends of our choruses. So we're coming out of the chorus. Still and peaceful dreams I see, the road that leads back to you. And here it is. Very interesting D augmented chord. We have the 3rd finger here on the 5th fret of the A string. My middle finger is here on the 4th fret of the D string. My first finger is barring across the 3rd fret of the G string and B string. Alright, that's a very interesting chord. Adds tons of tension and mystery and gets you right back into your verses. So it would sound like this in context.
Still in peaceful dreams, I see the road that leads back to you.
I just arpeggiate, I break it up, A string, D string, G string, B string.
Oh, I say now, Georgia, Georgia.
All right, that's something definitely that will help you to spice up the chord progression and make it a little bit more your own. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial on Georgia on My Mind. This is definitely a tough song, so practice these chords slowly, practice the changes, and promise it will come. I have many more videos coming up, so keep checking back. This is Rob from Swift Guitar Lessons saying happy picking.